2019, I'm here with Rick from Dubreq, and he shows his new Gen R-8 synthesizer. So Rick, shows us what it has for features or so.
Okay, so the Gen R-8 is a portable analog synthesizer. We've got two oscillators that use a combination of square wave, sawtooth, and then two sub-oscillators, so you can get some really great bass sounds. You have the ability to tune each oscillator independently, so you can detune them a little bit for some fat sound.
So you want to achieve a kind of stylophone sound, or? Well,
you can. It's really a more developed and more advanced instrument than the original stylophone, which was more of an electronic organ. This is a full-blown portable synthesizer. So you have the ability to create a, almost infinite number of sounds, where with the stylophone, depending on the model, you either have one or three different patches that you can choose from. So this is a whole different animal.
And I see you have on the oscillator ring mod hard sync, so it can go also quite in the dirty section.
Yeah, so with the ring mod you can get the metallic sounds, and the hard sync allows you to use one oscillator to affect the other, so you can really get some rich harmonics out of it. Then the LFO, we've got 8 different LFO patterns to choose from, and with the destination buttons here you can affect either the oscillator 1, oscillator 2, or the filter. The filter stage has 4 different settings possible. You can go with the low pass filter, the high pass filter, turn them both on and you get a band pass filter, turn them both off and you have a wide notch filter. So a lot of flexibility there. Then the envelope generator, this is the first stylophone instrument to have ADSR, so you really have a great range of control over the volume envelope. We've added a delay effect that gives you kind of a dirty delay. It's can be set so that the timing can be set so that you get a feedback loop and create some really creative, interesting sounds with that.
So the signal flow is completely analog?
Yeah, completely analog until you get to the delay, and it's a digital delay that simulates analog. Then with the mixer we have aux-in, which allows you to use an external sound source and then filter it with the Gen R-8. Headphone out, there's also a line out on the back of the instrument, and you can control the mix between the dry signal and the delay signal.
Okay.
Then another thing that can affect the sound output is this drive control. That gives you an overdrive distortion. It sounds really nice on synthesizer sounds to give it a little bit more of an organic sort of texture to it.
Okay.
Then also we've got a really cool sequencer section where we have 8 different sequencer memories, and each one can have 16 steps. So you can actually set up different sequences and flip between them on the fly, and it'll actually jump from one pattern to the next. Another cool thing with this Gen R-8 is we've got Midi in and out. So the sequencer can be used to control an external device. Or you can use the keyboard to control an external device. And then with MIDI in, of course, you can put a traditional, conventional keyboard as your controller and use this as your sound source.
So for you, it's going from Stylophone goes now modular in the modular world.
Yes, with the patch points along here, you can connect it to Eurorack modules of various kinds. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outputs that use CV, and then several inputs in each of the sections. So one of the things you can do is you can patch it within the synth. I can take the LFO out here and put it into the delay time input, and this will affect the delay time in a way that creates kind of a step pattern. I'm going to use this stair step effect. Sort of changing pattern when the note sustained. And example of internal patching.
From the oscillators, can we hear a bit of the filter? So the filter is inspired from...
Well, it's a 12 dB filter, British design, and let's go with the low pass filter here. Or we can go with a high pass. With both of them, we can sweep a bandpass filter.
So what I hear is the sound goes far away from the initial Stylophone synthesizer.
Oh yeah, it's a very different instrument, except the idea that, you know, we have this metal keyboard that kind of goes back to this.
Is it the same, or is it improved, or?
It's inspired by the original Stylophone, but it takes sound creation in a whole different direction. And where the original Stylophone was basically an electronic organ, this one is a full analog synthesizer. And we do have the metal keyboard, but we don't use the stylus anymore. This is touch sensitive keyboard here, and we also have modulation and glide controls with this last key on the left. So if we want to get a glide effect, we just hold that key down. And you have some controls over that. Then with modulation, this turns on the modulation so you can get some vibrato. Let's get more traditional sound here.
The sound is, it's nice analog, and it's a bit more dirty.
Yeah.
More a dirty character.
Yeah, especially when you add the gain control.
Okay, and when do you plan to ship it?
Right now we have a list for people who want to order with the initial limited edition run that will be, we're expecting it to be finished and available in early March.
Okay, and price point in Europe? Okay.
329 euros, right? And 299 sterling.
Okay, and US will be also a bit...
I'm sorry, what?
349.
$349
Okay.
$349 US.
Okay.